Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, so, oh, you have it there. Great. Srinarda Vacha.
Nada Vacha.
Guru Naivang.
Guru Naivang.
Pratiprokto.
Pratiprokto.
Bhuya.
Bhuya.
Mahasuraha.
Mahasuraha.
Sutang.
Sutang.
Nat. Chet. Guru. Mukhiyang. Te. Kuto. Bhadrasati. Matahi. Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya aha. Bhuya aha surasutam. Chet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kutu Bhadrasati Matahi. Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya aha surasutam. Chet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kuto Bhadrasati Matahi. Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya aha surasutam. Chet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kuto Bhadrasati Matahi. Anyone?
Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya ahasura sutam. Nachet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kutu Bhadrasati Mati.
Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya Asura Sutam. Nachet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kuto Bhadrasati Mati.
Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya ahasura sutam. Nachet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kuto Abhadrasati Mate.
Srinarda Vacha. Guru Naivam Pratiprokto. Bhuya Asura Sutam. Nachet Guru Mukhiyam Te. Kuto Bhadrasati Mati.
Okay. Srinarda Vacha. Narada Muni said. Guru Na. By the teacher. Evam. Thus. Pratiproktaha. Being answered. Bhuyaha. Again. Aha. Said. Asuraha. The great demon Hiranyakashipu. Satam,
Satam,
unto his son.
unto his son.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Chet,
Chet,
if.
if.
Guru Mukhi,
Gurumukhi,
issued from the mouth of your teacher.
issued from the mouth of your teacher.
Iyam,
Iyam,
this.
this.
Te,
Te,
your.
your.
Kutaha,
Kutaha,
from where?
from where?
Abhadra,
Abhadra,
O inauspicious one.
How
O inauspicious one.
Where have you gotten it? So purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There's a definite chance there. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that devotional service is actually Bodhara Sati, not Abhodhara Asati. In other words, knowledge of devotional service can be neither inauspicious nor contrary to etiquette. To learn devotional service is the duty of everyone. Therefore, the spontaneous education of Prahlad Maharaj is supported as auspicious and perfect. So, again, the verse. Shinardavacha gunhaivam prati prokto huya aha sura sutam nachat guru mukiyam te kuto bhadra sati matahi. So, Om Ganat Chilavandasha Gadanjana Shilapaya Chachur Midikam Yena Tasmai Shigurve Namaha. So, this is, of course, right after our friend Hiranyakashipu had accused Sunda and Amarka, the sons of Shri, this devious devotional service in the heart of Prahlad Maharaj. And Sunda and Amarka were innocent, if you could say that about demons, or sons of demons. They were innocent. They hadn't done that. They just were following the orders of their superior father and following the orders of Hiranyakashipu. So that's generally to not follow orders when it actually conflicts with their basic moral principles. So, anyway, so they were responsible. In other words, Sunda and Amarka couldn't say, or they could say, of course, but they, even if they did say, we're not responsible, just following orders, teaching demoniac things, that doesn't absolve them from responsibility. They still have to take whatever reaction they were going to get, karmically or otherwise. So that's one point. Another point here is with Prahlad Maharaj, that he received this knowledge not spontaneously, really, even though it appears that it was spontaneous. He received this knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu. And Kayadu was Muni's ashram is in Narda Kund, which is part of Govardhan. I think you went there for an old lady or an old man or something like that. In other words, you weren't aware that it was material sukriti. Because the material sukriti, there's pious activities and impious activities. Pious activities get you elevation, impious activities get you condemned and going to places like Yamaraj. So, as far as an intoxicated drunkard, he starts dancing and chanting with the devotees, then what? That's a Gyata Sukriti. He's doing devotional service without knowing. So, generally, that's how we start people in devotional service. Although, Krishna does say that people come because they're looking for knowledge, or they're inquisitive, or they're looking for wealth. The 4 verses, the 4 things in the Gita, Chaturvidha Patantima. Anyway, whatever. So, generally, people come because they came in contact with a pure devotee and they heard the holy names, or they took some prasadam or something like that. And in my own life, I experienced somewhat of that. And maybe you've heard that story before. I was listening to the radio, and something in my heart woke up. And of course, that's similar to the statement that that's made in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Pramanda Brahmate Kanna Bhaktivan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhai Bhakti Lata Bish. That when the living entity was wandering throughout various species and different planets and everything like that, comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from the pure devotee, he gets the what? Bhakti Lata Bish. What's a Bhakti Lata? Let me ask the children. What's the Bhakti Lata? What? It's what? What's a lata? Let's take it apart. It's a lady that you know. Anyway, it's Lata Mangesh. What is her name? Lata Mangesh. That's a lata. Lata means like a plant.
Yes.
The shell of the material world. So the seed of that, the Bhakti Lata Bija, is planted by contact with a pure devotee. And you see that practically in everyone's life, of course, Prabhupada, for example, was always a pure devotee, but the example that Prabhupada gives in his life that he came across a spiritual master when he was, just basically a young married person, and his spiritual master just implanted the seed of Lord Chaitanya's mission in his heart by telling him, you were young men, referring to him and his friend, you should preach Chaitanya's mission in English. So that was like initial contact, which became the inspiration for someone for their whole life. It happened with me when I came in contact, of course I can't compare myself with Prabhupada, but when I came in contact with Prabhupada hearing on the radio, my whole life changed. I became completely disinterested in everything that I was doing, which was university studies, which wasn't so productive. I became completely disinterested and just heard the call. It's like the Pied Piper, or book distribution. Prabhupada said even if someone sees the book, puts the book on his shelf in a very prominent place, that's the start of their devotional service. And of course, there's that famous story that Prabhupada said, if someone takes Simply Wonderful, they'll come to the temple and become Simply Wonderful. So anyway, so this is what's being described, or indirectly in this particular verse, that Prahlad Maharaj learned everything, came in contact with everything through the association of a pure devotee, even while those who are expecting children should always hear and chant about Krishna and not engage in too much prajalpa. And in this way, they'll give birth to Krishna conscious children. So, any questions? Questions, comments? Keshav? No questions. Isha? So, and adults here? It's just not. It's not going to happen. Like the statement, Tad Vignanartam Sadgurum Eva Avigachet, that if one actually, it is essential, if one wants spiritual knowledge, acharet means essential. It's imperative. It's the imperative in Sanskrit. One must, here we're talking about either Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Vartma, there's different gurus, of course. Vartma Pradarshika is the one that first shows you the path. Then there's the Shiksha Guru. And then ultimately there's a Diksha Guru. And then you can have many Shiksha Gurus and only one Diksha Guru. Anyway, so an example of Vartma Pradarshika Guru would be Dhruva Maharaj's mother. Isn't it? Suniti. And she said that Dhruva Maharaj Guru is going on, and this is normal procedure. So anyway, so yes, you need association. Without association, it's not going to Matirna Krishna Patatos Matavamata. And also, one actually has to have, let's say, a attitude or a desire for self-realization too. Because if one doesn't have that desire, you can hear and you just become angry. You hear about Krishna and become angry. So everything happens because of a reason. In other words, Prahlad Maharaj heard within the womb of his mother Kayadu, it was accidental. He was meant to be in the womb of a particular mother and comes in contact with particular type of association due to the soul's level of Sakriti. Okay.